Be'ezras Hashem Yisbarach Yom Sheni Parshas Pinchas Shnas Tovshin Ayin Zayim Yeshiva Tiferes Avigdor Erev Shiva Asr B'Tammuz Erev the 3 weeks. Yesterday we spoke about Pinchas's midah of kanos. We spoke about how kanos is the spitz of Avas Hashem. Getting this down, Shimon? I told your father he should ask you over what we spoke about today. I spoke to your father after you spoke to your father today about lunch, right? I spoke to him after. I told him tomorrow I want you to call him and ask him, what did we speak? Because he's sometimes here, sometimes not here. Yaitz of Nichnas. So take some notes. So I'll start again for you, I'll cover you. Give him this paper. The midah of kanos is rooted. What's the shayrish? What drives a person to act, take up the kinas Hashem? What drives a person to become tachas Hashem Yisbarach, to be noikem es nikmosai, to seek the vengeance which Hashem should seek? And the answer, Chaim, is what is the midah that drives him? I just said it a minute ago. What's the midah, Shimon? It's the midah of Avas Hashem. Thank you. You make me feel very good. The midah of Avas Hashem is what drives a person to such a gewaldige madrega. Now the question is, of what relevance is it for us? Are we individuals who are driven to Avas Hashem? The only Ava you have is which kind of Ava? Avas Atzmai. The only Ava you have is you love yourself. Avas Hashem, it's a big madrega. And a person has to ask himself, what shaykhis do I have to Avas Hashem? We mentioned yesterday that Rabbi Ruchim said that kanoyas is something that is, you have to be an ish godel. Anoshim gedolim are shaykh to that. We're not anoshim gedolim. What shaykhis does it have to us? Now, you may have thought when you say Krishma, you say Krishma a few times a day. Is that correct? But at least you have the siddur open, right, Shimon? What's the first mitzvah that's brought down in Krishma? Ve'ohavta Hashem Elokecha. Right? Very good, Shimon. Practice a little more. Now, did you ever ask yourself that question? What shaykhis does V'ahavtas Hashem Elokecha b'chol levavcha have with me? It should say the basics, something that's shaykh to me. Why does it discuss b'chol levavcha, b'shnei yitzarecha, b'chol nafshecha, afilu noitel es nafshecha? How many people do you know that are ready to give up their lives for Hashem? How many people do you know will serve Hashem with the Yetzer Tov and the Yetzer Hara? How many people do you know that are willing to put out all their money to serve Hashem? Very few. I need a big magnifying glass to find such people. And you wonder, this is the first thing you teach a child. Teach him the Shema, it's the first thing you learn. You tell them, you have a mitzvah to do is you have to go to become mitzvah b'afta Abbas Hashem. What's the pshat? This is an amazing question. And because of this question, many people don't know the answer. You know what they say? This is not for me. What do I have to answer? What do I have to answer stuff for? It's not negated to me. I have to worry about it. I have to figure out how not to talk Lashon Hara. I have to figure out how to wake up at time, not to mevatel zman krishma. I'm difficulty with making brachas. I'm difficulty with bittul Torah. Just to do my basic chiyuvim. Why are you talking about Abbas Hashem? Now over here lies a tremendous yesod. Now listen to this yesod. Shimon, I want you to hear this yesod because this yesod is going to be a key in your life. Plants, what makes plants grow? Water. Geshem. If you don't water plants, they don't grow. What makes people grow? You're not a plant, right? I'm asking, you're a plant? No, I hope not. Some people act like a yerek, but what makes people grow? If water makes plants grow, what makes people grow? Have you ever thought about that question? Isn't that a simple question? Imagine you would ask somebody, what makes plants grow? And the guy would say, I have no idea, I'm not a plant. Would you think the guy's cuckoo? Yeah. You think, but you saw plants grow. So you're a person. Didn't you see people grow? What makes people grow, Avigdor? Do you know? Food. That's good. That makes people grow. Mayim also, you should have said. Mayim also. That makes people grow physically. But what makes people grow spiritually? What makes people develop their neshamas? What is the mozain that makes people develop and grow? So Shimon says, Torah. But then again, Shimon, I'm sure you know a lot of people who learn some Torah and they don't grow. So, what's the problem? Plants need air to grow also. But air alone doesn't do the trick. You need mayim. What makes people develop themselves? I'm going to tell you a big chiddush. The answer is Ratzon. A person has to want to grow in order to grow. If a person learns Torah, but he doesn't have the Ratzon to develop himself, he doesn't grow. If a person has the Ratzon, he grows. How much does he grow? It depends on how much Ratzon he has to grow. He has to have what's called a she'ifa. if he doesn't have any she'ifa, he doesn't strive, and he doesn't yearn. People learn all about Hilchas Lashon Hara and how bad it is, but they don't want to grow and become people who don't speak Lashon Hara. You know what happens? They learn the Chavetz Chaim, they learn the halachas. I knew somebody who took the tests and he won with flying colors. I said to the guy, do you know why you still talk Lashon Hara all the time? He said, no. I said, it's not because you don't know the halachas, you learned the halachas. You know what the answer is? You have no ratzon. Why does a person learn Hilchas Tefillin? I remember being a bacher in yeshiva, young teenager, and getting no geschmack out of learning halach. You know why? Because a lot of the halachas, first thing I wanted to learn was only practical halachas. That's the first thing I wanted to learn. But then I learned it, there was some practical halachas, the ones I did, okay, I was happy with. I gave myself a check. The ones I didn't do, I didn't want to do. To stand and think that I'm Oymid Lifnei Hashem, the whole Shemona Esrei. I remember I heard that the first time, I said, what? How am I going to do that? I remember when I heard the halacha, you wear tefillin, you can't have any hesach hadas with tefillin. How's it shaykh? My mind is flying all over the place. I had a supersonic mind. I came with a very, very jet engine mind. And my mind was thinking thousands of thoughts every minute. It can't be masir das from the tefillin. How's it possible? I said, that's too hard for me. And he said, can't talk in tefillin. Can't talk in tefillin. Maybe every Rosh Hashanah I won't talk in tefillin. But every day not to talk in tefillin. All the guys around you who finished Shemona Esrei as early as you did, and there's nothing else to do but chatting. Now, Baruch Hashem, they have cell phones. So you see a lot of people who finish Shemona Esrei, whip out their phones, check the text, send a few texts, maybe check the news, other important things. Maybe those are really tzaddikim. They don't want to be masir dar, not to leila hasiach, but tefillin. They think to their cell phone, that's not called hesach hadas. But talking, I'm not talking tefillin. What do you do? And then I realized, you know what the problem was? I didn't have a ratzon. And when you have no ratzon, you can't grow. Knowledge does not make you grow. Knowledge is like air. You need air. If you don't have knowledge, of course you can't. Ratzon alone doesn't make you grow. But you have to have a ratzon. There's a wild message from Eliyahu Hanavi. It was a very wild message. It says, Lafika chayisi aymer. Eliyahu Hanavi says, you know what I used to say? Kol echad ve'echad mi Yisroel chayiv loymar is chayiv to say Mosai yagiyu maisai lemaisa avoisai Avram Yitzchak Yaakov. I remember the first time a Rebbe said this over. I got turned off so bad. I said, this is totally ridiculous. Mosai yagiyu Avram Yitzchak Yaakov. What? Mosai yagiyu to my father. Mosai yagiyu to my Zayda. Forget about Avram Yitzchak Yaakov. What's going on over here? It doesn't say a person has to be Avram Yitzchak Yaakov. You know what it says? Chayiv loymar. You're supposed to say. Mosai yagiyu maisai lemaisai avoisai Avram Yitzchak Yaakov. That's what you have to say. You have to say it. Know what that means? You have to say it? You have to what? Want it. You gotta want it. Do you want to be Avram Yitzchak Yaakov? No. That's the problem. That's why you're going to be a midget. That's why you're not going to grow. A person has an obligation. The growth of every individual is that he has a ratzon to grow. When you see a guy who's growing, it's not because he's learning. It's because he's reitzel ilmoy. He's a reitzel is gadol. And if you're not a Reitzele his gadol, you won't grow ki hu zeklal. And there are two great sources for this. One is the Chayvus Halvavos, and one is Rabbeinu Yoina. The Chayvus Halvavos says in Shar Cheshbon HaNefesh, Perek Gimel Cheshbon Chaf Aleph. He said a person has to make a cheshbon with himself. Shimon, you make cheshbonis with yourself, right? What's the cheshbon you make with yourself? What would you say a big cheshbon that you make with yourself is? Not a teretik zak. Ma'ata choshev, what are you thinking on eze cheshbon that you want? Al mashu shata rotzeh, on something that you want. What do you think about? What? You want to be tough? Are you crazy? You want to have some fun. You want to know, you think in your mind, outside of Torah, you thinking, how can I have some fun? Where could you play basketball? When could we have some geschmack time? Just some chill time. That's what you think about. You learn, but you don't think about your rotzen to learn. You don't think about your rotzen to advance in tefillah. You don't think about your rotzen to advance in ruchnis. So the Chayvus Halvavos tells us that a person should make a cheshbon. He should think to himself. First of all, al ma sheyesh b'yacholtei mimaysa avodah. That which is your capability, Moshe. And you should train yourself to do what you're capable of doing. And you should run, and you should become strong until it becomes your second nature. And afterwards, he says, you should be mishtadel lahoisif al ma sheyesh b'yacholtei. You should go above, you should be mishtadel, means dream. Start to think, how about becoming more than that I'm capable of doing? The yichseif loy beliboy. He should desire this in his heart, like kesef. You know why kesef is called kesef? Shimon? No, you don't know. See, it's true. Every day you said the word kesef out of your mouth. Since you learned the word kesef, 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 od kesef, od kesef. And you don't know what it means. No, what kesef means, it comes from yichseif, nichseif, nichsafti. A person desires. Kesef is a chayfetz that everybody desires. That's why it's called kesef. Ta'ev, rotzeh, wants, yearns, shoef, od. Everybody wants kesef. That's why it's called kesef. So he says you should be yichseif beliboy, v'yalu elav b'machshavtoi, and you should put it in your mind. And you should ask Hashem for help, to give you assistance. He should give you help. He should mechazik you. Al ma sheyesh more yoser mima sheyesh b'yacholtoi, more than you're able to do. And if a person will be masmid al zeh, you'll ask Hashem over and over and over. Yamtzi lo yaboyre b'kashosov. Hashem will provide you with what you asked for. V'yiftach loi sharei yidiyosai. He's going to open up for him the gateways of his knowledge. V'yechzak sichloi. His seichel will become stronger. And his evarav, his body, will become stronger. Lamoid b'mitzvahs asher mi'mayla mi'yacholtoi madrega acha madrega. This is unbelievable that the yesod of this world, the yesod of growth, is that a person has to be a shoyef, he has to be a roitze, he has to be mevakesh. That's the key. Of course he has to know himself. He should not fool himself. He has to know what he's capable of. But Hashem says, you want to get more? Be a roitze, be a shoyef. I'll give you more. That's what it says. Mosai yagiyu maisai lemaisa avoisai. That's what you have to say. I want to be the greatest. In the Hoidu we say, Harchev picha va'amalehu. Know what that means, Moshe? Say Hoidu, right? Oh, you don't say Hoidu, right? Probably never say Hoidu, right? Hoidu. You say Hoidu? Ever? Know what that is? You little kids say Hoidu. Hoidu you say after Baruch Shamar. If you come early, some people say Baruch Shamar, they say Hoidu. You ever say Hoidu? It says Harchev Picha V'Amalei. What does that mean? Harchev Picha means open up your mouth wide and ask, and I'm going to fill it, Hashem says. So the Gemara says, what does that mean? Gemara says, what does that mean? The guy asks for whatever he wants, Hashem's going to fill it? Gemara says, no. Ahu b'divrei Torah. It's talking about divrei Torah. That if a person is a mevakesh Torah, a person is a roitze, he makes that his mish'alois liboy, Hashem says, I'm giving you my word, the amal ehu. And that's what we saw also in Rabbeinu Yoina. Rabbeinu Yoina says, Hachai yitein liboy. A person should take it to his heart, the yosim kol magmosai, and he should try to make it his drive to serve Hashem. B'chol levavoi u'b'chol nafshoy u'b'chol ma'odai. So we started with a question, and we asked, why do you start to teach a child v'ahavta Hashem elokecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha? He's not ready for that. You know what the answer is? You have to make it your desire. Plant in yourself a ratzon. Be mevakesh. After roitz, you have to be a shoyef. To be masik Hashem v'ahavta. I know it's a mitzvah. I say it again in the morning. I say it in the afternoon. I say it at night. I shall say it again and again. Hashem v'ahavta Hashem. And he roitz him. I want to be mekabel oil malchus shemayim, and I want to love you, Hashem. Hashem's going to say to you one day, Chaim, you want to love me? You never even said Shema. You never even read Shema like a mensch. You never even said the words of Shema out of your mouth. You looked at the sinner and you went to sleep. Shema put you to sleep. You said, how come you weren't a right sinner? That's what Hashem's going to say to you. How come you didn't want to get a little Avos Hashem in yourself? That's what He's going to say. And he says, the yachmoid, the yichsoif, a person should kavet, desire. These are two lashonis, chemda and yichsoif. He says, lahasig ba'avoida ma'she'ein yodei maseges, that which she's not capable of. And then HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and he should think about people who made it, people who are a Bali Madrega, and he should learn from them and yearn to be like them from their chachma. And in every single midah that a person does, that a person did not yet reach and attain that midah, that's what he should do. Yachmoid eleha v'yis'ava eleha v'yivchar ba lahasiga, more so than all the kesef v'zov sheba'olam. A person who has no seichel, who has no yuzma, who has no ambition, a person who has no drive, that person is going to be a garnished. That person is going to be a midget. He's not going to be a mensch. But the person who's going to develop a she'ifa, a rotzen, a bakosha, a chenda, and a taiva to attain madregas, that person is going to attain madregas. I told you the story, but I'll tell it to you again. The dogma that I always think of this, I've read stories about people who have done this. I told you a story once about a mensch. It was a Amaretz Gomer Deraisa, and he came to a Adam Gadol and he asked him, what should I do? He said, just have a rotzen. That's all. He said, what do you mean? Say over and over all day long. And he writes it to be Talmud Chacham. And he writes it, say it again, say it, Nachamol. And he writes to be Talmud Chacham, and he writes to be Talmud Chacham, and he writes to be Talmud Chacham. Chavetz Chaim said this mice. And know what the guy did? He sat down and became a Talmud Chacham. And the Chavetz Chaim said, you know how he became Talmud Chacham? Just because he said over and over, and he writes. And he writes to be Talmud Chacham, was made him a Talmud Chacham. There was once a bacher in the yeshiva who had a head that was not as hard as wood. Wood was soft next to his head. It was harder. You can't imagine. And this fellow came to me and he said to me, you have to learn with me. I said, sure, why not? I'll learn with him a little bit. I'll help him out a little bit. So I sat down and I learned with him one line of Gemara. And it took 45 minutes to teach him one line. And by the end of that line, he forgot the first word on the line. Words like, my taima, he didn't remember. Words like, minah hani mili. What was it? What does it mean? Minah hani mili. What does minah mean? What does hani mean? What does mili mean? Like, just nothing went in. I remember once we had a shaila with the words hachi ka'amar. I told him, that was with me. He had a word hachi ka'amar, and he went over to Reb Chaim Stein, and he asked him, Shishiva, he said, what does hachi ka'amar mean? But Reb Chaim didn't know English well, so he told him basically what it meant in his broken English. He started reviewing it to himself. It didn't sit well with him. Then he went to Reb Gifter, sitting on the other side of her Kodesh. And he said, Rosh Yeshiva, what does hachi ka'amar mean? Reb Gifter was a gifted English speaker. So he told him. She said, it's a machloikis. Reb Chaim said hachi ka'amar means this. And Reb Gifter said, this. What's the machloikis? I tell you, crazy. I remember telling him, what are you hacking? He says, the machloikis to Rosh Yeshiva tells me. What are you talking about? Are you mishugget some tight? What are you going to do about the machloikis? I said, Chaim knows what hachi ka'amar means. Trust me. And then give it also, they both mean the same thing. This guy used to learn like you never saw. Like you never saw. He learned every night, every single night, 4:30 in the morning. No one else was there. 4:30, he left the basement. He used to learn over and over, listen to tapes of the Gemara, try to get it, just nothing was nichnas. And he came back 7:30, not 7:45, not 7:50. And he davened like a lion. You gotta see the guy daven. But the first part of daven, you couldn't tell anything different. When it came to Shemoneh Esrei, that's when the show started. Whenever it came to Shemoneh Esrei, he never started Shemoneh Esrei without a box of tissues. And as soon as the chazan said, Gal Yisroel, quiet, all of a sudden, I was telling the guy, what do you have, onions? Onions in your fingers, and how do you do it on the spot? You don't wait to get into it, you know what I mean? Not by Slachlanu, not by Hashivenu, not by Hatochayim Das. Hashem is supposed to say, Tiftach. And then, one day he said to me, you have to make a charus with me. And he did it 3 times a day. Shachris, Mincha, it was the same spiel every time a new guy came to you. What's going on? What happened to the guy? His father died, his mother died. What happened? He lost his money. What happened? No, garnished. As soon as verse was over, regular back to himself. and he learned. And one day he comes to me and he says to me, you have to learn Bachavrusa with me. You have to teach me how to learn. I said, I have no time. He said, I'll make time for you. When do you want to learn? I said, let's learn Friday evening at home. After the Suda, I'm going to learn with you. I used to say Avad. I said, I'll say Avad for 2 hours. After that, I'll learn with you. I said, I can't do it. So why not? But you want to learn? He said, I don't go to sleep Thursday night. And I don't go to sleep a whole Friday. I take a nap by lunch Thursday afternoon. And the first time I get to sleep is by the Suda Friday night. That's why I don't eat by anybody's houses. I eat in yeshiva, I eat 1, 2, 3, go right to sleep. I get my sleep, I'm catching up my sleep. I can't come. I said, well, I'm smiling inside. Baruch Hashem, I can't do it. And he comes back to me and he says, how about if we learn Shabbos morning? I said, that we could do. He said, it's very hard to me because I like to sleep Shabbos morning. So he said, I said, but if you're going to come Shabbos morning, I'll learn with you. What time are we starting? He said, 3 o'clock. I said, what? I said, 3 o'clock? Are you crazy? You have to get some sleep. He said, 3 o'clock, I want to learn. So I make you a deal. If you come into my house, you come into my basement, and you wake me up, I'll learn with you. But you have to bang on the wall. At a cinder block wall in the basement. I sleep in the corner of one of in the basement there. I said, you bang on the cinder block wall. If I can hear you and I wake up, good. Don't come into my bedroom. The kids here, I said, I remember saying Krishman Amap all that night. I said, Hashem, Yishat Kol Halayla. The guy should sleep like a mamish. 3 o'clock, my wife wakes up. Who's banging? What's going on here? Somebody's smashing the wall, she says. The guy was a short guy. The guy was a hefzer, the guy. Boom! Boom! I screamed, okay, I'm coming! I got up and started learning with the guy. We learned Masech Tamakis. I got kapar for my various from that. I'm telling you, it was Gehenna of the world. It was mamish. I said, Kate said, Makis. Zayman was Adam me. Zayman was 2 things. What's 2 dinim? Yeah, he heard Brisket talk. He says, "Not 2 dinim." I wonder, oh please, just Adam Zayman. And it was like wild stuff. And we learned finally at 7 o'clock. I was like going crazy, and my eyes were falling with drooping. I was trying so hard, and he didn't let me say. He was also falling asleep. He'd stand up, and he would go like a lion. Finally, he said, 7, he said, let's learn some Chumash now. So that's a good idea. Learn some Chumash. And David was 8 o'clock. So I said, I'm telling you, it was gefährlich. One day I asked the guy, I said, you know, you're trying so hard. He never missed. The guy learned every day, he never missed. I said, what are you playing? Like, what are you thinking here? I mean, you become wood? You're platinum. You're gold. It's a loyalech. Lo nichnas. Nothing goes in. You know what he told me? He said like this to me. Did you think I don't know that I'm mamish blocked? That my mind is satum. It's blocked. It's a mushal. And Evan, he told me, is a mushal for my head. He said, I know. It's not normal. Am I not a regular guy? In Chochmas HaChaim, do I have any problem? No, he's a very sharp guy, funny guy, personable guy, geschmack mensch. He was a very geschmack mensch. He said, that's my challenge. I know that if I keep going, and I'm a roitzer, one day the dam is going to burst, and the water is going to flow. I said, you believe that? He said, I absolutely do. The Rebbe told it to me. I said, you should know the Rebbe is 100% right. And it's going to happen. But don't give up. I don't know how long it's going to take. And then eventually, He left the yeshiva, he went to Lakewood. And in Lakewood, I had another person who was very close to me, tells me, he sits in Lakewood with a computer in the Gemara in front of him, and he types ha'aris on what he learns. So I said, what ha'aris does he write? Ha'omer l'chaveiroi. Ha'omer. Yesh oimrim. Ha'omer. Echad medabel l'chaveiroi. Ze achaver, ze ish acher. What is he? What does the guy do shaykh to? He doesn't know shaykh to anything else. He said, no, the guy has cash in the Gemara. I said, you mean the dam broke? He said, the dam broke. Today's a Rebbe. A Bachar. Not of 1-year-olds. High school boys. And he has bitachon. He worked on bitachon like nobody's business. You know what Hashem showed him? You can get it. If you write, that's how you grow. Sometimes you have to keep on pouring water. Can't stop. Rotzen, you have to keep on going and going and going. But if you're not a writer, you're dead. When I see a bacher, and I say, are you a writer to grow? He said, I don't know. Oh, that's like a knife in my heart. There's nothing more worse I could hear from somebody. Because you know why? It means you're mace. I'll never forget, I went to a balabas once. A guy learned in yeshiva, he learned in high school, he learned in beis medrash, he learned in kollel. Then he became balabas. Anyway, when he from guy, Hamish guy, but he didn't learn. I told him, come learn. He said, nah, I'm toast. I'm finished. I said, do you want to learn? He said, no. I said, what day were you born? So what time is it? I said, what day were you born? She tells me I was born on a Tuesday. And I said, what year? What day? What chodesh? She said, why asking? I said, I think you deserve a plaque in Telz Yeshiva. I'm going to write, born on this and this day, Niktaf b'demei yamav. He was cut off from the world, very young age. So why do you say cut off? You don't want to learn. You don't even want to grow anymore. You have no rutzim to grow. You're finished. Finito. Gunished. Klub. You're never going to get better. You're going to be like this, a midget, the rest of your life. You're dead. Plaque. You say, you think I can learn? I said, try. So I got him to learn. Got him to come to learn. I made Mishnah Berurah. You have the rutzim. Tell me you have the rutzim. I'm going to push you to learn. It's like pulling the horse to the water. You can't make him drink. It's like pulling the horse to the right. Be warned. He said, nah, I never was that kind of guy. Now he tells me, I never was that kind of guy. So what is he? He's an alte zokin ananas. He's mamish, a tiny little midget, person going nowhere in a very big hurry. Rahman al-Islam. Kodesh Baruch Hu should save us from this kind of thoughts and this kind of actions.